Hey Oz,
Hey, Curtis.
what movie we watching this week?
This week, we've got the love child of Sally Jesse Raphael, Sweet Home Alabama, and Bird Box. This week, this week we are watching Hope Floats. I was excited to throw Bird Box in there.
That was, yeah.
I was like,
wait,
I've seen a Sandra Bullock movie where she's blindfolded before.
Yeah. Sweet Home Alabama. That's the connective tissue right there.
Yeah,
That worked really well.
I originally had, because I started writing the movie Marriage before like we got too far into the movie. I was just taking notes as we go, and I originally had Jerry Springer. And then when I saw she was watching Jerry Springer episode, I'm like, I can't put Jerry Springer in there. That's too meta. So I'm like, hey, I bet. So I asked my wife, I go, does Sally Jesse Raphael used to do shows like this? She goes, I don't know. Maury Povich did. I'm like, I'm going with Sally. I got to
Sally.
Or Ricky Lake. I could have gone Ricky Lake, but I wanted to go Sally. But yeah, I was really proud of my Bird Box.
Yeah, I didn't see Bird Box coming. That's pretty good.
well, and it hit me like 2/3 of the way through the movie. I already had Bird Box in because I'm like, hey, Sandra Bullock in a blindfold. That's Bird Box.
Yeah,
and then it hit me literally like 2/3 of the movie. I went, wait a minute, and her name's Birdee. Like, this is totally fits. So, welcome back, listeners and viewers, to another week of Let's Talk About Flicks, the weekly podcast where we take a monthly theme, a new theme this month, and we satisfy the theme and really just hang out because that's what we love to do. February means a new theme, and like we mentioned last week, it's the first rehash. We're taking a theme that we used last year in February of Wives' Choice.
Take two.
Not necessarily Wives' Choice romance. However, whatever they want to watch, we shall watch as well. So Wives' Choice is this month, and I got the first one, and my wife chose Hope Floats, the 1998 Sandra Bullock, Harry Connick Jr. Just romance, really.
I won't call it a rom-com. Yeah, Forrest Whitaker directed. Yeah. Of all
Ghost
movies
Dog.
for Forrest Whitaker to direct.
Yeah. But good for him. He did a good job.
Yeah.
Hey, why not? Really, like,
sure.
If you're gonna try and cut your teeth, might as well go and go into something where the expectations probably at the highest for you. Because if there's anything Forrest Whitaker knows,
set a low bar.
Well, I'm just saying,
that's the Forrest Whitaker way.
I just didn't want him to bite off more than he could chew. But if there's anything Forrest Whitaker knows, it's about the broken hearts of white women. So go Forrest Whitaker. Before we get too far, though, we do want to throw out a shout out to our Patreon subscribers.
First things first.
Yeah, Patreon subscribers: Don S, Melissa L, Aaron A, and Mandy K. Thank you once again for your monthly patronage. We do greatly appreciate it. We got to get another bonus. We got to get another bonus episode knocked out.
We do.
Yeah. So they're due.
Yeah.
So because it is my week and I have the plot, I am going to pass to you to cover the characters. Who do we have?
Yeah.
In our showcase.
Our showcase, our Hope Floats showcase.
Yeah.
Again, we mentioned the director Forrest Whitaker, which he's only directed a couple movies. I don't think he's done much directing since this time. So he had that itch to scratch there in the mid to late 90s, and he scratched it, and then he went back to being in front of the camera. As far as the characters go, we got Birdee Pruitt. What do you think Birdie is short for?
Probably Bernadette.
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 Bernadette Pruitt.
Bartholomew Vader.
Yeah, just like Bartholomew. Bernadette. I think so. Bernadette. Bernadette Pruitt, played by Sandy Bullock. In one of her many, like, kind of mid-90s to mid-aughts romantic comedy-esque, under that broad umbrella, romantic something or other.
She was busy. She's busy around this time.
Yes, she was. Churning them out. We have her husband, Bill Pruitt, played by Michael Paré. Yeah.
Okay.
We have their child Bernice Pruitt, played by Mae Whitman. Her.
Huh. Okay.
Pre-Arrested Development, Mae Whitman. I didn't
Yeah.
realize
Oh,
she
yeah.
was
Yeah.
she was active as an actress pre-Arrested Development.
And a very good actress. Like, despite the tongue-in-cheek, like, the just the in-joke of Arrested Development. Like, I won't say that, like, I've, combed through Mae Whitman's, like, filmography, but what I've seen her in has been pleasant. Not our first Mae Whitman movie, by the way. As she was in Scott Pilgrim.
She was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Good actress, that Mae Whitman.
Yeah, go check out Scott Pilgrim versus the World, as I think it still only has like 5 listens.
you be the next listener, and you could increase our listenership by 20%.
Well, it's just funny because we talked about how great a movie it is and how underrated it is, and it's like our least listened to, least watched episode.
It's bizarre how that works.
Yeah,
you'd think of all the movies we've done, that one would seems to be the movie that has kind of the most like internet chatter about it. But
and people are like, nah,
whatever. We got Ramona Calvert. That would be Birdie's mother and Bernice's grandmother, played by Gina Rowlands.
Yeah, I almost threw a Notebook reference in my movie Marriage, but I thought, nah, that's too easy.
Yeah. We have Travis, who is Birdie's nephew. Yes, played by Cameron Finley. He's there. We'll circle back to Travis, I'm sure, in a bit.
A little awkward, but he's got his reasons.
And that's and my phrasing there has nothing to do with the character. It's just sort of he's just there.
Yeah, there he is.
There's Travis. There he is.
This kid's just hanging around set. Let's just put him in the movie.
May as well. And then we got a couple bit performances here by we got Connie, Homewrecker Connie, played by Rosanna Arquette.
Yeah.
We got Tony Post, your 90s daytime talk show host, played by Kathy DeJimmy, straight out of Sister Act.
Right. Or Hocus Pocus.
Or doing the voices in King of the Hill also.
Yeah, or Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah. Oh, I love King of the Hill.
Yeah, I do too. Mike Judge he's the Scott Pilgrim of the animated world.
That's what they say.
Although Scott Pilgrim would be the Scott Pilgrim of the animated world. Never mind.
I think you were right the first time.
Yeah, Mike Judge is the animation, what Scott Pilgrim versus the World is to our podcast.
Mike Judge is the Scott Pilgrim of the movies featuring Mae Whitman.
There you go, yeah. With Kathy DeJimmy.
And plus Kathy DeJimmy. And then finally we have Nurse, played by Bill Cobbs, because Bill Cobbs is in every movie.
He's got to be. Now, I may have tuned out for a moment. Did you mention Harry Connick Jr.'s character?
No, I didn't. I forgot to put him in my character rundown. And that's probably...
This is a romance between Sandy B and Bill Cobbs.
Yeah, Bill Cobbs, the nurse, played by Bill Cobbs. I completely forgot to put the love interest in here. It's probably because he's not the most exciting of characters.
No, and I got
a feel like that. I got a feeling that's going to come back towards the end of the show today. But we got Harry Connick Jr. playing what's his face, love interest guy, Justin. Yeah, Justin's his name.
Justin Matisse.
Yeah. Justin, who's rivaling Brad Pitt for shirts down past his nips in every shot.
Is he?
He's trying to keep up. He's trying to keep up with mid-90s Brad Pitt.
I don't know if I would call Justin the love interest as much as more like the love battering ram.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving you alone, Birdee Pruitt, until you're mine.
Cut to Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber, just speed back of the chef.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
All right. Well, those are the characters, some of which I remembered, some of which I didn't, for reasons that may or may not have to do with my memory or my interest in the characters.
I'm just tickled that you remembered Bill Cobb and forgot Harry Connick Jr.
Well, it's Bill Cobbs. He's great.
It is
He's
Bill
the
Cobbs.
one and only Bill Cobbs. And then there's Harry Connick Jr. He's there too.
And he's clearly not the one and only because he has a father named Harry Connick. So
yes,
by definition, he's not the one and only Harry Connick.
There's only one Bill Cobbs. There are quite literally multiple Harry Connicks.
Yeah, right. It's like Human Centipede of Harry Connick.
They just.
I don't know.
Going.
I don't know if I would use.
I'm gonna go with. I'll save you there. I'm gonna go with Infinite Loop of Harry Connick.
There you go.
Although now that Infinite Loop to me is arranged like a Human Centipede. So.
Yeah, and I don't know when talking about Human Centipede if we should talk about a Harry Connick. Like it just sounds like art.
hate to be whoever's at the back of that.
Oh boy, that's one Harry Connick.
That's a Harry Connick, if I ever told you.
Look at that, Junior. That's a Harry Connick, Junior.
How about that plot, Oz?
All right, well, let's get real serious because Birdee Pruitt's marriage is in trouble. Birdee is a former Texan beauty queen, 3-time beauty queen, former prom queen, just your run-of-the-mill, probably was a plastic in high school, really.
So how she comes across. Probably had a burn book.
Probably. So she is living in Chicago, happily married with her daughter and her husband, and the movie kicks off with a talk show, the Tony Post talk show. Where they have...
interesting scene here. It just opens on it.
They're on a
talk show.
It's just we thrust right into it here, where we see Rosanna Arquette, who is uncredited in her role as Connie, and it's one of these where she's revealing something about her best friend, who is, of course, backstage in a noise canceling booth or whatever,
soundproof booth.
And
they always have on these sets.
They've got them there. So Connie is revealing that she is having an affair with her best friend's husband. Oh, like everybody.
Scandalous.
Oh no. And but she, being the best friend that she is not only having an affair with her husband, but has also tricked her into coming onto the Tony Post show for a free makeover. Because when you see Sandra Bullock in this movie, the first thing you see is that woman needs a makeover.
The 3-time beauty queen.
The 3-time beauty queen needs a free national TV makeover.
Yeah.
So she comes out.
What better place to spring this as well? Not only am I cheating with your husband,
right.
I'm going to break it to you on a nationally syndicated talk show.
There's no better place. And so naturally, Bernice is in the audience. The husband is also backstage in a soundproof booth. I couldn't put it in my hunch, but I wonder what synopsis was pitched to him to get him there, because he
also a makeover.
This appears to be like this big Connie sabotage. Not only is she wrecking the marriage, by having an affair with her best friend's husband, but he wasn't even aware of why they're on national television. So we've got Birdee out there, and Connie breaks the news to her. And there's a lot of hush rolls across the crowd as Birdee tries to keep her composure, and then her husband comes out, Bill, who apparently didn't see Birdee sitting there right away, and he turns and he does the whole, oh no, like I'm in the middle of a love triangle.
Literally sits between them.
Yeah, not aware. Only, I don't know. It's just kind of goofy. Not only is he unaware of his wife sitting there, but he also doesn't know why he's on television, even though he clearly knows he's part of an affair because he's the he's the guy. And so, long story short,
you want to go at a talk show? We're not going to tell you what it's about,
right?
But
we're not going to.
We're not going to tell you.
Who's going to be there? Connie. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to keep my affair quiet, so let's go
my
on national
secret
TV.
Love affair.
If I could go anywhere with Connie and that my wife won't find out, I bet it's the Tony Post show.
My wife, she doesn't watch daytime TV.
Right? She's too busy with our daughter. Oh, she's here too?
Everybody's here.
So, long story short, the marriage is obviously broken up, and we go into the point of the movie. Birdee and Bernice leave Bill in Chicago to return home to Texas. Her life is a mess right now, and the only people that she really has to rely on are her parents, so she's going to go home and just kind of collect herself at her mom's. Mm-hmm. And so that's where they go. Smithville, Texas.
Smithville.
So, Birdee comes back into town, tail between her legs, like she's just humiliated. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. But we also find out...
All the townspeople always make sure to remind her, we saw you on the TV.
Yeah, which I think is funny because Bill also is from Smithville, Texas.
They were high school sweethearts.
They were high school sweethearts, and I just like how dastardly is the average citizen of Smithville if these two high school sweethearts obviously break apart, and she did nothing to bring it on. Like, he had an affair with her, and she returns home, and then they all just rub it in her face. Like, you get the vibe like he probably also was not the most likable character in high school. Like a football star. Well, not in an Uncle Rico sense, but more like the traditional.
Hey, Birdee, how much you want to bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
He's feeling his own biceps as he's flexing. And so, they move in with Mom. They move in with Ramona and Travis. We find out Travis, Birdee's nephew, is there because Birdee's sister is out in Hollywood, I guess.
Trying to become a star, a star.
Yeah, and so leaves Travis with Mom. Mom, can you watch Travis? I'm going to go to California. And
okay.
Ramona's just quirky enough that, of course, you get the vibe from her that, like, I love everybody unconditionally, no matter what, and you're going to go out in your life, you're going to make your choices, but no, you always have a place back home. That's how it's kind of how I get from Ramona. She's not real judgmental, although she does throw a little bit of shade at Birdee, not because of the choices she made, but more the choices she's currently making.
Sure.
And so
a lot of taxidermied animals around Ramona's house as well.
Yeah, I think in my little movie universe in my head, even though the locations don't line up, I get the vibe that, like, the grandpa from Lost Boys that is always leaving with a taxidermy animal to go see, like, the widow whoever. I get the vibe that, like, Ramona is that widow whoever. like, he always shows up with these taxidermy animals, and she just takes them on and does her thing. So
Ramona's kind of seems to be known as, like, the town weirdo.
She's kind of like the local crazy. Which she doesn't seem to care. Like, she just kind of lives her life as she wants. Birdee gives Bernice a letter from Bill. The letter says, I love you so much. I miss you so much. Again, trying to keep hope alive with her daughter because deep inside... Go ahead.
And, Bernice really, really, that letter meant a lot to her. That's one of the through lines of the movie. Daddy wants to be with me. Daddy loves me.
Right. So we get the day-to-day of Birdee struggling with her rightfully earned depression.
Yeah, she's clearly depressed, which one can imagine.
She doesn't want to get out of bed. She gets Bernice enrolled in a new school. She's trying to find a job, and as she's trying to find this job, she kind of goes to the temp agency. She has to sit for like hours. We really see a lot, and you mentioned it earlier. We really see a lot of the townsfolk that never left Smithville that she went to school with. Like, she was the one. She was always the best in school. 3-time beauty pageant, prom queen, et cetera, et cetera. She got out.
3-time queen of corn.
That's right. Or as Birdee says, cream corn.
Yes.
But she got out of town. She got out of Smithville. And she got out of Smithville with the football star. And she didn't have to lift a finger because he made all the money. Like, it really, in their mind, you could see it of like, she got away, we didn't. So they're, I think, probably a little resentful of what she had.
They're all very resentful of her. This was the beauty queen. She didn't have time for us. She had the football star. She didn't have to lift a finger. Bill took care of her.
So I think they just as catty as they are, like, they really appreciate her fall from grace. Like,
they're living it up.
That she gets a little comeuppance, but at the same time, as Birdee, especially like the instance where she's trying to get a job, like the temp agency lady just kind of keeps laying it on there about, nope, you're not qualified, sorry. And Birdee finally, I mean, she's broken. She's a broken woman, and she just like, I deserve that. Look, I know I wasn't nice to you. I deserve it, but I need a job. Like, come on,
She really doesn't have any workplace skills either.
No, she does not. How fast do you type? I don't type.
Kids, build your skills up.
Yeah, it's important.
Don't be Birdee Pruitt.
No, don't be a Birdee.
Learn how to type. Yeah,
it's like Birdee. Yeah,
gain a couple workplace skills.
Yeah, Birdee Pruitt is the 2023 Roy Munson. Don't be a Birdee Pruitt.
You don't want to get birdied out here in the middle of nowhere,
or else you'll end up shacking up with a Justin Matisse. So yeah, Birdee, she's really trying to make a go of it. Honestly, I think her whole life would have been destroyed if Ramona wasn't there to help her out. Honestly, So, and speaking of Ramona, like seems like first night back, Ramona has Justin stop by.
Oh yeah, he's there right away.
And Birdee remembers him, because he had a crush on her in high school, and apparently has still lived this infatuation all these years later. He's still very, very into Birdee, but he's also just the town handyman, I guess. Like,
well, he went to California and something like job didn't work out or something like
right.
He was too invested in the work and he wasn't working fast enough, so he lost the job.
Yeah, that's right.
Now he's back in Smithville,
where he can work at his pace, and he's good with his hands,
with his shirt down 4 buttons.
That's probably what it was. It's like he wasn't properly attired for work. And,
you're gonna have to cover those up there, pal.
Justin, just button it up. Oh no, sir, this is not how I do it. I will button it my own pace.
At my own pace.
I'm not gonna button this as fast as you want, but I will get it buttoned. Quitting time. Oh, guess I'll try again tomorrow. And so we really just get a collection of scenes here. Justin keeps showing up. Ramona, her dad has Alzheimer's, or as Ramona says, old timers. To which Birdee corrects her. Alzheimer's. I know what I said. Okay.
Sure you did, Ramona.
And so Birdee, she, like I said, she's broken. She's trying to make things work out. Bernice is having a hard time at school. We got the school bully,
the school
Big
bully,
Dolores.
And they picked her out of like bully stereotype.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Oh absolutely.
Large kid, like bright orange hair.
Yeah, she grew up
built like a refrigerator.
Yeah, if you could see like Miss Trunchbull from Matilda as a child, it's this girl. It's Big Dolores, which is just an awful name for her. But I'm sure she was probably the highest paid on the cast.
Oh
list,
yeah,
so.
Well I'm sure she was as well. I mean, who'd want to cross her?
I wouldn't want to do it. If this were Step Brothers, she'd make you eat a dog turd. She's like Chris Gardocki of the Hope Floats world.
She pantsed Harry Connick Jr. several times on set.
As a matter of fact, the actress, she made everyone call her Big Dolores, even if she wasn't rolling.
Yeah. It was in her contract rider.
Right. It's like, call me Big Dolores. I have to wear a muumuu, and I'm always crossing my arms. Like, those are my three halves. Some people require a trailer full of rose petals. I just want these 3 simple things.
She'd shove Michael Parry's face in the Danish dish at craft services.
Right. Yeah. This Sandra Bullock worked out a deal with her. Like, I'll give you a cut of my percentage if you just terrorize everybody on set.
And leave me alone.
Please, Big Dolores.
Please, Big Dolores. I'll give you anything.
Uncle!
Like Scott Farkas.
Exactly. Red hair, so why not?
Yeah.
And so, so like I said, Birdie's dad's got Alzheimer's. He's in a assisted living home or nursing home or whatever. Yeah. They go visit occasionally. Like you said, we still got this through line of Bernice desperately wants to be with her dad. And so really anytime Justin's around, like Bernice is trying to take that down.
She
quickly.
gives it to Justin.
Oh, yeah, she does. And it's funny.
She is nasty to Justin.
I love it because she's trying to push Justin away when Birdie's not even interested in him being there, really. Like, it's not like Birdie's playing hard to get. She's really not interested, and yet Bernice is still putting a full court press on. Like, no, you're not getting the ball down this court. And Birdie's, it's almost like, Bernice, it's fine. I'm not interested. It's fine. But because Justin is an everlasting gobstopper, he never goes away.
Or he just doesn't get the hint, or
no, there is no hint.
Ramona keeps inviting him over.
That's true. Like, it's not really that fair when Ramona, like, is it? But oh well, I guess it could be what's best for her. Get back on the horse and etc.
Get back on that Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah, that's one Harry Connick. And so Birdie's really struggling to get back in the good graces of the town folk. The people that do recognize her, some people are happy to see her because they were like friends in high school, but she realizes that it's like these roles are reversed. Like, the people that she didn't pay much attention to in high school have actually achieved something in town, whereas the people that she was friends with in high school are still holding on to that high school glory. Like the one lady, I don't remember names, but they're at this big tent dance. It reminded me that they were on set of the "Are You Gonna Go My Way" video by Lenny Kravitz, because it's just this huge tent with lights everywhere, and maybe it was an indoor facility, I don't know, but it's a big dance. There's this big dance, and the lady that worked at the temp agency, don't remember her name, was it Bobby Claire? Nope, is that right?
I think Bobby came into she was the one who pitched the fit at the photo mart.
Oh, that's right. Oh, she's the redhead. Yeah.
Although I kept wanting to call her Bobby Joe from Evil Dead
Bobby
2.
Joe. She reminds me of like Diane Weiss's neighbor in Edward Scissorhands, the one that's like got a thing for Edward. It has like all the topiary she needs trimmed.
That's right.
And that's the vibe I get, or like a Peg Bundy kind of type.
Yeah. There's some Peg Bundy in her.
And so they're at this dance, and like one of her old friends is still wanting to like just trash one of the townsfolk behind her. It's like, Birdie realizes the person she was in high school is not the person she wants to be anymore. She comes back and she really does try to make amends. She does get a job because the only skill she has is a photographer, I guess. So the only skill...
very, very amateur photographer.
Very amateur. But luckily they are looking for somebody to develop photos down at the photo mart. So, where you've got, creepy old guy that's like, if you get any indecent photos, make a copy and put them in that drawer there.
I think it was called Dirty Old Man's 1 hour photo.
It was like Family Guy neighbor 1 hour photo. Hey there.
Going back to that dance, Oz, was it just me, or did everybody there have like a giant like kind of off, like cream colored cowboy hat on, like a big old.
They all did.
Yeah, everybody there.
Yeah, it was the dance, and but I did read the trivia that Patrick Swayze's mom choreographed that scene.
Oh,
yeah, Patsy Swayze was the choreographer for Sandra and Harry's dance. So, which it wasn't fun.
Wasn't Bernadette Swayze?
No, it wasn't Bernadette Swayze. It was Patsy Swayze.
Okay, Patsy, not Bernadette.
No, but I do want to give I do want to give Forrest Whitaker a little credit though, that he really did do a good job of letting Sandra Bullock like flush out this Birdee character.
Yeah, I'll agree. And, I'll agree with you there.
That she was once she was cast away from her her castle tower in Chicago and she had to live on her own, like you really did see like Sandra Bullock really come into this character. I won't go as far to say it was like super multidimensional, but just little things like the dance where she finally let her guard down a little bit and danced with Justin, and she had fun. Like you could tell it wasn't this wooden like performance. You could tell like Sandra Bullock was really, because she's a very charismatic person.
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, she's a very charming actress and performer.
Yeah, and so it was nice watching it and see, you just could tell some of that was flowing into there. That she really gave the vibe that she was having fun playing this character. And so yada yada yada. Bernice has a birthday coming up. She secretly wants her dad to return. We have run-ins at school where basically where Bernice she doesn't really know the rules of Big Dolores yet, so she like tries to fight her, end up getting beat up, and
Big Dolores like pinned her down and was like throwing haymakers at her.
Oh, she was like, I don't know how Bernice survived it. Like she was, she
got to like the Hoist Gracie mount position. It's just drilled her with both hands.
Right. It was just pulverizing her. But it was sweet because like, everybody knew it was coming. Even she told her mom it was coming. Like I'm gonna die. Like
I'm gonna die.
Big Dolores is after me. But I thought it was sweet
for us all.
Right. Because it was like nobody tried to stop it. They let the beat down happen, but then even like Bernice's friends just stuck around and like held her hand and helped her up, and it was like even her friends are like, no, power in numbers is not going to work with Big Dolores. She's like she's like the juggernaut. She just you don't want to get in her way.
There was like the one friend who like helped her out afterwards and then went back to her house with her, and then you never saw the friend again.
Oh, right. It was Big Dolores ate her.
But I found it a little odd. It's like okay, like they're gonna flesh out another friend character. Like,
nice.
She's at her house, she's dancing with her mom and trying to make her feel better, and that's it. We don't see her again.
Yeah, because it was like Bernice is in her room and like rolling in comes a skateboard, and again Birdee and the whole crew, Birdee and Travis and Ramona, and then the friend. I want to know how long they are all downstairs like choreographing and practicing this big routine, because they're
down with Patsy Swayze.
Right. Bernice was up in her room for days. Like she was really sad.
I think Bernice is going to get beat up today, so instead of doing something to help her, let's choreograph this dance.
Right. They didn't want to get in big. They want to get Big Dolores' way.
I wouldn't want to confront Big Dolores. Even Ramona's like, I want no part of that.
Yeah, I was there when she was born. No way.
She came out swinging then.
It would have been funny, like when Big Dolores tackles Bernice down into this, like somebody's yard. Like there's all these kids. Like if they cut to like houses along the road and people are just like pulling their curtains shut, like they do in like inner city shows,
or like the old West.
Yeah.
They pull the shades down, they close the saloon doors.
Right. Nope. If we pretend we're not here, Big Dolores won't come a knocking. So so there's just a lot of stuff going on, obviously, and then let's just add a little insult to injury. Ramona has a heart attack and dies. Like,
yeah, and
like,
she's dead.
Like Act 3, and well, we started Act 1 with out of nowhere. Let's get Act 3. And even my wife goes, she looks at me, she goes, "Did you see that coming?" I said, "No, but it also doesn't surprise me." Like, and so, then the movie just gets like super sad, like, really like heavy themes going here. I mean, aside from Ramona dying, which was awful, but then like Ramona was basically Travis's mom, and like Birdie's sister, Travis's mom, just sends a telegram that says, "Sorry, can't get away."
Yeah, she doesn't even come back for her mother's funeral.
For her mom's funeral.
Or
so
to,
Travis
to comfort her son.
Right. And so Travis is like looking to Birdie now, almost like, are you going to be the one to take care of me now? Which, of course, Birdie...
it's a legit question.
So, and Birdie is like, of course I'm going to. Bill shows up at the funeral. Thankfully, he didn't bring Connie with him. That would
have... He brought a different Arquette. He brought David.
Right. Yeah. Alexis was there with him.
Alexis, yeah.
And so, David Arquette. Then they went and caught a wrestling match at the local Stampede.
He was in character as Dewey from Scream.
He was. And so that explains why the police didn't show up to break up Big Dolores.
They're already on site.
And so, Bill shows up. Of course, Bernice sees him. She thinks her birthday wishes come true. Daddy's here. They get home. She's packing her bags. Like, Daddy's here. Like, I'm leaving. I'm out. See ya. See ya, Texas. I'm headed home. And Birdie knows what's up because, of course, Birdie wrote the letter at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Bill wants nothing to do with his daughter. It's just
he loves her though. He tells, "Oh, I love you. I would do anything. You. I would do anything for you. I gotta go."
Yeah. Connie and I, we just need some time. Connie and I are going to try to start things. I'm like, "Oh, Bill, you've already started." Hence the Tony Post show. But
Bill.
But and of course, Birdie. It's got to be excruciating for a parent, for a mother. And thankfully, I've yet to experience any sort of heartbreak amongst my children. But Birdie's just standing on the porch, basically watching Bill destroy their daughter's life.
Yep.
And letting him do it so that she can, because she doesn't want to sugarcoat anymore that your dad's a good guy. She needs to know the truth about her dad. And so what might arguably be the best acting performance in a scene in this movie is Bernice basically clutching to her father to go with him. And then when he drives away, she just Charlie Browns it and just starts wailing.
It's really awful scene.
It was heavy. Hey, Ramona's gonna die. Oh, that sucks. I'm glad Birdie was at least starting to put herself back together. And then it's oh, but watch what we do to Bernice. You thought Big Dolores was bad. Wait till we see Big Bill.
And then we got basically orphan Travis here.
Yeah. It's just terrible. And so, it's just, that's the way the movie doesn't end that way, but, Birdie goes and picks her up, comforts her. Bernice lets her know that I knew that you wrote it, Mom, and Birdie goes back to work. She's got to be the world's worst photo developer.
Yeah, she does. She keeps breaking the machine. She's not even saving any pictures for the old man.
No, they all seem to be close-ups of the night sky, the starless night sky. It's just nothing but black. And so, she's back at work. The old man, he's so proud of himself in that way.
There's a little shot in this sequence here that I laughed out loud at unintentionally.
I did too. It was funny.
She's working at the counter and she looks up and Justin's out there leaning up against this truck, shirt down to his navel, and she kind of looks at the boss and he's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And so she runs out, and then it cuts back to the boss, who we barely know, and he's got like proud dad look on his face, like,
because he had brought in a roll of film to be developed, and when she was developing it, it was all garbage like usual, because I don't think she developed one roll of film. But he's going through it, and he's kind of ripping her a new one, because everything is just this black image, and then there's one
that's right,
picture of Justin with flowers out at his truck, and that's when she looks up and sees Justin out by his truck. Like they had just taken. So
I forgot about the planted picture.
Yeah, and so that was why the boss was so proud of himself. He's like, I did it, So Birdee, finally realizing she's never going to get rid of this wart, Justin decides, fine, if you can't beat him, join him, because this dude's putting on a full court press the entire movie.
Oh yeah, he is.
Hey Birdee, want to go to let's go for a drive, and then they end up at this old. Like this is earlier in the movie. This old drive-in, and he's like just going straight for the moves. Like he's he's basically going Danny Zuko on her, and she's not interested. I mean, he didn't care. He didn't care.
And then she gets out of the truck and goes to the swing set, which is at the movie theater.
Right. I was said to my wife, I go, were these mandatory? Like, do drive-in theaters have to have a playground? Because there was a swing set in Greece.
That's right. Yeah.
Because Danny Zuko, when he's singing, someday at school, he goes and swings like a true T-bird.
I was hoping that Justin was going to give her an underdog while he was pushing her on the swings.
Prepare yourself. Underdog.
I'll demonstrate.
You got to call it out too.
I'll demonstrate my feelings for you with an underdog.
Watch this. And so, fast forward, we get the final. They're at this big town festival.
Yeah,
Birdee is now taken like full custody of Travis. Like, who knows what happened to Mom? Apparently, it doesn't matter. She's dating Justin.
They stuffed her like one of her animals.
Yeah, Mom's back at Ramona's.
It's like the dad in Strangers with Candy.
Yeah.
I wonder what position they would stuff her in.
I don't know. Probably like a Betty Boop, like
oop.
So,
right on the porch next to the porch swing.
So Birdee's got custody of Travis. She's dating Justin. Bernice is worried. Bernice is happy with town now. Like she's accepted Smithville as her hometown. She seems to have come to terms with the fact that Bill's out of the picture because Justin has kind of filled that void. I think and it's got to be important for a kid, especially if he's going to step in and act like a father figure to, like, that void is not completely gone. Yes, he's not my dad, but he's more of a dad than my dad. So,
well, I mean, he's been consistent throughout the whole movie as well. Like, he's demonstrated.
Oh, yeah, he's always there.
He's, for better and for worse, he's there.
Yeah. Because Birdee and Justin did hook up after the dance. Like, he took her back to his house. Yeah. They hooked up, and then she walked ashamed at home.
Yeah, she did. Shoes in hand and everything.
Across 7 counties in Texas, apparently. It was like she left at daybreak, and it was mid-afternoon when she got home. And
she had to fight her way through Big Dolores.
She hit all the bosses of each county.
the 7 evil exes from Scott Pilgrim.
There you go, right? Bernice actually was one of them. It was weird. And so, Bernice, kind of one last little joke. She's worried about Birdee and Justin getting married not because she doesn't like Justin, but because she's worried about her new name being Bernice Matisse, which it's a kid, so go figure. And
like Marcy Darcy.
Marcy Darcy.
My name is Marcy Darcy.
Right. Or like Thurman Merman in Bad Santa. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Hope Floats.
Yeah. Just give hope a chance to float up, and it will.
You got it. Because before I came in here, my wife said, don't forget to say that last quote of the movie about Hope Floats. And you did it. So, nice.
She reminded me, too, so...
Oh, right, shot you text.
I told him, but he's gonna forget. So
I know he will. So, all right, that's our show. That's Hope Floats.
That's Hope Floats. At this point, folks, Oz and I each give our own unique rating to the film and discussion. In this case, 1998's Forrest Whitaker helmed Hope Floats. Forrest Whitaker. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
I'm gonna give this 7 stuffed cats. I liked this movie. I did.
Stuffed cats.
And I'm not...
Not stuffed Ramonas, stuffed cats.
No. I did. I liked this movie. Not just because my wife picked it, but I did. I really don't mind watching any type of movie. And if I'm going to dedicate time to it, I try to find something to enjoy in it. Even if that enjoyability is just how awful a movie is. Not this one per se, but you and I have watched some real stinkers together, not for the show, but just in general. But we still try to find something to enjoy about it, whether it's just the jokes we make of it. But no, I didn't mind this movie. I thought Sandra Bullock, I thought she did a great job. She really is a very good actress. And it is nice because you don't really see Sandy B going for like all these Oscar nominated roles or whatever. You just feel like I'm going to make the movies that I want to make, and we'll go with that. And but no, she did a good job, and I think had she and Mae Whitman not done such a good job in their roles, I don't think the movie would have been near as enjoyable as it was.
Okay, yeah, I could not agree with you more.
It certainly wasn't for Harry Connick Jr.
I'm still both kicking myself and not for forgetting him in the character rundown earlier.
Right. Him?
Yeah.
So what do you give it?
I'm gonna give it let's say 55 cream colored cowboy hats.
Okay. So basically that scene.
That scene, yes. 55 of that scene. All right, next up, folks, we've got Outside Insight. Oz and I have been scouring the interwebs, looking for unprofessional reviews that we found amusing, and we're going to bring a couple of those to you, our listeners. Oz, what is your Outside Insight?
This one was left on December 9th of 2022. It's a 5-star review. It's a 5-star review by Dreamscape40. And as I'm reading this, I think you are going to understand why I picked this. Okay. For you.
Ooh,
Hope Floats was the next film I watched earlier today, but didn't get a chance to review it or post. Thought I'd do it now after seeing Harry in concert this evening, and I must say, OMG, it was so fun. Harry is such a hottie. My mom enjoyed herself and loves being in the pit section, now up close by the stage. Haha. Bit surprised on how many old people were there. A few single ladies sitting by themselves, which would have been me if I didn't invite my mom to come out. Had awesome seats with 2 ladies in front of us and no one next to me or my mom, which I was able to move and dance about more. Okay, now back to the film. Love everything about this movie. A tearjerker, yes, which is something I don't watch too often.
It's our Lethal Weapon.
Yes, that's
that version from a month or so ago. Yeah,
that's
where
exactly
the entire review is about some experience that's tangentially related to it. Oh yeah, and the movie was great.
Yeah. Tearjerker, 5 stars. Anyway.
Yeah.
My mom had a great time.
Harry Connick Jr. Oh yeah.
Ooh, OMG.
He is a good-looking man.
Yeah, he is. As I was reading this, and I'm like, "Oh, this is the Lethal Weapon review." All over.
Yeah, it is. It's the same thing, only at a concert, not at Spago's.
Spago.
It's
me. It's Spago.
It's Spago.
All right, what's your outside insight? I want to hear the perfect one that you say.
Now, I texted Oz a couple of days ago when I spotted this, and so I hope I have not built this up too much.
You'll be all right.
10 out of 10 review comes from Nikita Didichuk. This goes back to him too. This goes all the way back to 2005 on the Internet Movie Database. Tone mine, but I'm assuming that this is the tone that it was written in. Hope Floats is one of the most romantic films I have ever seen. To those who say it was horrible, maybe you just can't understand the feeling. And to those who said Sandra had a terrible accent, you were from Canada like me. So how about you try to act and talk with an accent? It is hard, and she did her best.
He's such a Canadian. It's like Chris Crocker in that. Leave me alone.
Basically. How about you try to act and talk with an accent? It's hard. She did her best.
Just leave Sandy alone.
Leave Sandy alone.
If you thought her accent was bad, you're from Canada, like me.
Like me, you know my pain. You should give her the benefit of the doubt.
You know we Canadians can't hear accents.
We can't do two things at once. Talk with an accent and act. You should know better, fellow countrymen. She did her best.
Man. It's like, in one sentence, it sounds like you're going to bash people by saying you're Canadian, and then immediately follows up, like me!
like me!
It's a syndrome we have. It's a condition.
All Canadians are born with it.
We
can't multitask.
We can't hear Texan accents.
One
it's like that episode of South Park. It's like that episode of South Park where the guy has the speech impediment and can't say the T sound in planetarium.
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 Planetarium. I can't say the T at planetarium.
It's his speech impediment.
Of course, he could say the T when he's just talking about the letter T.
Exactly.
Planetarium.
Oh man, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, I was excited to bring that one this week. All right, folks, it's time for our signature segment, the 3-2-1, in which Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about the movie in question. In this case, 1998's Hope Floats. Oz, what are your 3 goods, my friend?
My first good is Mae Whitman.
Yes.
You know, when you've got a movie starring kids, sometimes the casting of that child kind of brings things down a little bit. Not always. I mean, obviously, Home Alone was what it was because of the ability of Macaulay Culkin, and that ability shines through in other Macaulay Culkin projects, like Uncle Buck, which was just on the other day, but sometimes, I do too, but sometimes you get casting of a kid, and they're just not that good, like Ben Stiller's kid in the Night at the Museum, like, the kid's just terrible, or Jim Carrey's kid in Liar Liar, like those... Yeah. Or I'm not even going to go Star Wars Episode 1. But Mae Whitman is not one of those. In this movie, she was great. She was great.
She did some heavy lifting in this movie too.
A lot of really heavy emotional acting out of a young child, because she was just a babe. I mean,
she was what, like, I don't know, 9, 10, something like that.
Yeah, she was very young and did just like. There was not a scene that she could not keep up with, and that is a true testament not only to any actress, but especially any child actress.
Yeah, because what's the old Hollywood adage? You don't work with kids or animals.
Yeah, you don't work with kids or animals, and just because they're so just unpredictable, and they don't have the ability to go above and beyond what they're capable of. Mae Whitman, even at this young age, was just excellent. And so that's my first good. My second, I really did like that they threw into the movie Birdee's reception when she comes home. Like, here is a woman who's basically been living on a pedestal her whole life, and we see this, you and I both work in a school setting, even the kids who tend to be in that upper echelon of popularity, by and large, they're just popular because they're popular. Yeah. You know, I feel like you ask the vast majority of kids in school, most of them probably don't care much for the popular kids, which you would think would deflate that balloon. Like, why are they popular? They just
Ironically.
are. Yeah, they just popular. They just are.
They were born with clout.
Birdee was that, but we also saw another little piece of Birdee in the movie when, you know, she kind of had to push herself growing up because, you know, she was living in the house of the town weirdo. You know, so we saw a little bit of resilience in her character as we went along. But I really did enjoy how coming home with her tail between her legs and then everyone else just taking her down a few more notches. Like, they weren't, and they weren't mean to her. They didn't bully her or anything. They just were like, look at you back needing our help. You know, we weren't good enough for you then. And so I did enjoy that. And my third is just Big Dolores. I love the character. I love the premise. It just was fun. And, you know, just Big Dolores.
She's standing off camera, isn't she? And she threatened you. Like, you better include Big Dolores in your good. Yeah, otherwise, I'm going to pound you to oblivion, punk.
She's not left or right. She's actually on the other side of my webcam, like staring me down. So I said
just pressing her fist into her hand.
Still wearing that same moo-moo and her hair pulled up. I'm sorry, Big Dolores. I said what you told me to say. You are in one of my goods. So.
Please take the boot off my car.
Right. Please put my car down. So what are your goods?
My goods, I love the opening of the Tony Post show.
Oh yeah,
because it just like this movie doesn't open the way a normal kind of like romantic comedy, because it opens like it's. I thought it was a kind of a clever way to do it. It was like a cold open, you know, like TV shows have cold opens, and it was a cold open to a movie, which you don't see that kind of thing very often.
Not very often.
You know, there's no opening credits. It's just there's Roseanne Arquette, and we're on a talk show with Kathy to Jimmy. Okay, so I thought that was kind of a clever opening. My second one, and we've basically talked about this already, but I'll just reiterate: Sandra Bullock is an incredibly charming actress.
Oh yeah,
she's always sincere in what she does. You could tell that she does her homework. And she, along with Mae Whitman, really carried this movie. Again, I could agree completely with what you said a couple moments ago. Had they both not been in this movie, this movie would have fallen a lot flatter than what it did.
Right.
And again, that's not saying that this is an Academy Award worthy movie.
No, but it was never going to be.
Yeah, but these two really, really kept this movie afloat. Wink, wink.
Yeah. I was going to say that if you didn't go there, I would have. I would have been like, I don't think this movie would have floated as well as it did.
And my last, there was a little scene towards the end of the movie that I really appreciated. And it was kind of, it was intercutting back and forth. It was after the funeral. So Birdee is arguing with Bill in the dining room, and Bernice is listening in and kind of popping in. But out on the porch, Justin was talking to Travis. Mm-hmm. And Travis was just like despondent, like his mom wasn't there, his caretaker's gone, what's going to happen to me? And Justin was there for him, and
he
was real with him, he was human with him, he was considerate, and I think it spoke to Justin's character. But I thought that was a sweet little underrated scene in the movie. So Justin and Travis's moment after the funeral. All right, Oz, what are your two bads for Hope Floats?
My first bad is that Justin, he ends up being, obviously he was going to end up being the guy. Like, he's going to win. I get it. He's on the cover of the poster and the box art. But I really was turned off by his inability to take a hint. You know, and like, he just, I don't know, I guess it's like he wasn't trying to romance Birdee at all. It just seemed like he was going straight for just physical. And he just wasn't taking no for an answer. And eventually he won, and that's fine. Like, I'm not upset that, you know, that he ended up getting the girl. But it's just, it was just odd that it's like he comes in. Oh, I've always had a thing for you, Birdee Pruitt. And she's like,
my first kiss when we played Spin the Bottle or whatever.
Right. It's just that kind of stuff. And it's like, and it's not going to stop, and it's just like, come on, man. Like, come on, and I'm not saying
she's clearly depressed. Her head is clearly spinning. She's got a kid who is just, she's enrolling in school. Give her a break.
Yeah. There just seemed to be like, there wasn't any of this like slow, like Jim and Pam kind of developing a romance. It was like he shows up like the day after she arrives in Texas.
In his tight white t-shirt.
And with
his wooden toolbox in hand.
Right. And it's like that happens. Let's say that happens in I don't know. Granted, it's Texas. You really can't look at the weather and talk about Texas, but it doesn't seem like that much time had passed before they're at this festival, and he's dad now. Like, and it's like, it just felt like he just kind of I won't say broke her down, but he just didn't take no for an answer. So that's my first bad. My second one is I understand Birdie and her state of depression, but in this movie, Birdie neglects Bernice a lot.
Yeah.
For being the only parent in her life. There are things that she forgets. And I get it. She's trapped in her own depression. I can recognize and I can respect that. But she neglects her a lot. Yeah. And you get the vibe that, at least early on in this Texas relocation, you don't really blame Bernice for wanting to get away from her mom.
Yeah.
And so those are my two bads. What do you have?
My first bad part, there was parts of the Ramona character I didn't care for. Like, I get annoyed sometimes in movies when, like, there's sort of like the wise older character who's helping like the young depressed character just get back on that horse. Quit your moping around.
It's that easy.
Yeah, and it's take action. Like, clinical depression is a real thing. And again, I understand you're trying to help. I understand you're like, it's well intended. You want the person to be happy. You want the person to feel loved and to, kind of get things back on track. But like, sometimes you got to let people bottom out, and you do it with them, like you support them.
Yeah.
And you stay with them. There was one scene that I did like between the two of them. And it was actually right before Ramona kicked the bucket. Birdie had come back she went out to the bar and she was puking in the toilet. And it was the one time they were in the bathroom together where Ramona had her mouth shut and was listening to Birdie. Yeah. She wasn't barking wisdom at him or at her. Right. She wasn't forcing these like platform statements down her throat. She was listening and she was being empathetic. And you didn't get a lot of that from Ramona during most of the movie.
No, you didn't. It's a good call.
So that's the first one. The other one, the music in this movie was awful. Oh, the music was terrible in this movie. It was all like your melodramatic, sappy, like romance songs. They even had a Bryan Adams romance song in there.
Oh
I was rolling my eyes a couple of points when like just certain songs came on. Like,
pretty heavy-handed there. Yeah,
really melodramatic. Like, come on, Forrest. You could do better than that. So yeah, those are my two bads. What's your for Hope Floats?
I had mentioned it earlier because I forgot it was my and this is with absolutely no disrespect to Rosanna Arquette, none. But really, like, Rosanna Arquette over Sandy B. Like, I'm just saying this is a PG show.
Yes.
So
okay. Disclaimer.
Yeah, I'm just it's like there's got to be something else. So there's got to be something else. For Bill.
I mean, maybe it was just as simple as they were high school sweethearts, and
it could have been. They just fell out of love, and and that happens. That does, But yeah, I was like, oh, Yeah, it was one of those that, like, granted, again, it's the premise of the movie. You know things are going to be fine, but it's like when someone who looks like Sandra Bullock, they're not going to struggle finding a relationship if they want one.
Yeah.
You know, I think that a lot about, like, the women that are on, like, The Bachelor and shows like that. I'm like, really? Like, you're struggling? No, this is a personality choice for you. Like,
yeah.
You're doing this for a reason. You're not doing this because this is my only shot of romance. No, it's not. No, it's not. So, but that's my huh. So, what's your huh?
I'm gonna switch to an alternate huh because
okay,
you kind of you kind of hinted at one of the things. Well, the huh I was gonna go with was on Bernice's first day of school. Like, they walk up to the school and school's already started, so she walks to the class like already in session, and you kind of hinted at that when you said like Sandy Bullock was kind of being like I don't know if negligence is the right word, but like, she just wasn't on top of things,
Yeah.
like you've registered for school and everything, like, and then you show up late on the first day.
Right. Yeah. It's like, you just wait till tomorrow then. Like,
yeah.
it's important to start when everyone else starts.
Yeah.
So because I've been a new kid at school, and it's even though I knew a lot of people already at the school I transferred to, it's still intimidating.
Yeah. Especially when you got Big Dolores there waiting for you.
I know. Right. Those big eyes. That was bad enough.
So my real haunt that I'll go with, this is a very brief kind of blink and you miss it thing. It was earlier in the movie, and I think it was, I can't remember if it was right before, like literally right before the scene I referenced, or if it was a little earlier. But Birdie's walking with Bernice across like a football field. And
because that's how you get to school, apparently.
You cross the football field where the cheerleaders are in full cheerleader outfit practicing.
Yeah, I made that comment to my wife too. I'm like, is that the only way for them to get to school is cut through the football field every day?
So that was kind of huh in and of itself. However, Birdie had a little flashback. She looks over at the cheerleaders, and then there's this half like doodle-a-doot, doodle-a-doot, and it cuts to her, like Sandy Bullock, in a cheerleader outfit, jumping up and doing like a split-legged like toe touch.
Yeah.
So like if it wasn't obvious enough that she was reminiscing, they literally had to show Birdie in a cheerleader outfit. Right. And I guess kudos to Sandy Bullock for her limberness. But
but you're right.
It's like you couldn't just pick up on that as a viewer. Like, no, we're gonna show you. This is Sandy Bullock. This is Birdie.
Exactly.
You have to see her doing a split-legged jumping toe touch to get the point. That's what it was like to be a cheerleader.
We didn't want to confuse you by thinking that she was reminiscing of when she used to watch the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I used to watch cheerleaders on this field just like I'm doing now. But no, she was a cheerleader. Thank you, Forrest.
And that happened a couple other times as well. I remember one where it superimposed like young Birdie's face over like Sandy Bullock's Birdie's face as she's like listening to Ramona talk to Bernice or something like that. It's like,
right,
okay, like you couldn't just get the impression that she's just like that she remembers being a child. Like, no, you have to literally see her as a child. Yeah. Oh, I get it now.
Now I see.
Yep. So, folks, that's 1998's Hope Floats.
Well, it was my week this week, and it is your week next. What does your lovely wife have for us to watch next week?
My lovely wife, who may or may not be Patreon subscriber, Melissa L., she's throwing, because again, last year, may I remind our viewers that her first choice for wife and we kind of billed it as like wife's choice romance last year, was Bram Stoker's Dracula. So she did
not?
go a little more to formula this year, although the characters in this movie are anything but formula, and that would be 1989's Say Anything. So we're going to hit Cameron Crowe's directorial debut next week. The tale of Lloyd Dobler, kickboxer aficionado,
and inventor. Well, more not inventor. He didn't invent it, but he was kind of the premise and scientist behind the Doppler effect. Doppler radar.
He was. There was no such thing as the Doppler effect prior to Lloyd Dobler.
Well, it was a typo because it was supposed to be the Doppler effect, but they got it superimposed and it went in as a P instead of a B.
Well, I mean, you flip the P and the B like around 180 degrees, and it's the same thing.
Right.
So
exactly, that's what happened. And meteorologist, kickboxer extraordinaire, Lloyd Dobler.
Lloyd Dobler, yeah, the Dobler effect.
So, I do like this movie.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, fun movie, good movie. A lot of dialogue in this movie. There's a lot of talk.
It's a Cameron Crowe movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of talking in this movie. So we'll have our typing fingers ready as we're keeping notes for this one.
A lot of discussion.
Yes.
So.
All right.
And really, a pretty decently accurate portrayal of what like teenage romance is like too.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie I think is a little more realistic than most other teen romance comedy type movies. Yeah,
I think a lot of teen romances. Yeah,
so some good music in this too.
Oh yeah.
It's a Cameron Crowe movie. It's gonna have good music.
It's a step above what we've currently watched with or listened to with Hope Floats.
Yes, as opposed to whiny Bryan Adams, we get like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Fishbone and Living Color, Paul Westerberg. We got some good stuff in there.
Right. So, well, let me ask you this, just because we didn't get to it. Did you enjoy watching Hope Floats?
It was. I'll say it was better than I expected. But again, as we keep cycling back to, it's solely because of Mae Whitman and Sandra Bullock. With lesser actors in those two roles, I think it wouldn't have been a train wreck, but it would have been a subpar movie.
Right. Well, and I don't think without those performances, it wouldn't even have been on our radar anyway. Like, yeah,
that's true.
I know my wife's taste enough that she doesn't like. I know this sounds. Hear me out because this sounds redundant and stupid. She doesn't like movies that she doesn't like. Like she has a type of movie that she enjoys. Well, she has a lot of movies she enjoys, but they're of this wife's choice. I could probably make these picks for her and be accurate, and they all fit like good performance type stuff.
Sure. Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense.
Because for every good performance in A Hope Floats, there are other movies of the same ilk that she doesn't care for because they're so trite and underperformed. Some movies like on repeat, like Titanic. Which, don't get me wrong, it's a great movie, but still, the performances make it. Movies like, I just had it there, like Legally Blonde was on a lot. Sweet Home Alabama, Urban Cowboy, there's one that I was going to name and it just slipped my mind. But just movies like that like, it fits this vibe, and I don't mind watching them with her because they are well acted, well performed movies. So it makes a big difference, that we're not watching, this next, and it's like not even every Meg Ryan movie she's a fan of, but Let's Sleep in Seattle, You've Got Mail, those if they're on, we'll watch them. Like I'm fine with those because they're well acted, performed movies. But we're not watching Serendipity or, The Truth About Cats and Dogs. Or not that those are terrible actors, but those are just paycheck movies for those people. Yeah. So
you're checking a box,
right? Mm-hmm. So I did just coincidentally named 2 other John Cusack movies there. So, but we will definitely.
Go ahead.
But we'll be back. Yeah, we'll be back next week for Say Anything for sure. As week 2 of Wife's Choice, and then we'll just preface a little bit now. We're not going to name any. And we're not going to name the theme, but we will have our first guest in March.
Gas.
The show's first guest co-host, guest to the show, will be on March. You'll have to wait, because obviously we're just starting to February. But as fast as these weeks go, we'll be in March before we know it. I'm looking forward to that guest host, that guest.
Yeah, it's going to be a
caster.
It's going to be a fun episode. Really fun episode.
It will. So, social media-wise, you know where to find us. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are on Patreon, as we mentioned accurately and on time this week. Our Patreon subscribers. So thank you again. Other than that, you have anything you'd like to share with our listeners and viewers, sir?
Hope floats up.
There you go. Hope floats. I was disappointed that this movie was not set in Salem around the time of the witch trials, where there was a spinster named Hope, who everyone suspected was a witch, so they threw her in the water. And guess what? It's a horror film because Hope floats.
She floats. Although I really like the premise that you threw out last week, where it's just at like a 50s milkshake place. And it's
Sandra Bullock's a soda jerk.
Yeah. He's just making milkshakes and malts, sliding them down the bar to Harry Connick Jr.
whose daughter's gone missing. His daughter Hope. Yeah, well, even before that premise, but yeah, it's just, my name's Hope, and I'm gonna make you a Hope float. What's in it? Root beer, a little ice cream, and a little dash of Hope. Slide it on down there.
Yep, gives the jukebox a little hip check, and Chubby Checker plays.
She's got that Steak and Shake take home.
Yeah, like the paper hat. Yeah.
Yep.
Everything's red and white checkered.
Yeah, some guys in the back in a super tight white t-shirt just flipping burgers and hitting a little bell. Bing, bing. Order up. Thank you, Johnny. And now she goes with another Hope float. Directed by Forrest Whitaker. It's a Spike Lee joint.
It's Spike Lee joint, yeah.
Hope Floats brought to you by View Askew.
View Askew.
It's the Kevin Smith universe.
Kicking off phase 6 of the MCU. Hope Floats.
It's David Lynch's Hope Floats.
David Lynch. There's an ear floating at the top of the milkshake.
Exactly. Right. Take careful. Don't eat the worm at the bottom of your. And it's got the face of the guy that was in he was in Eraserhead, and he was also the older guy in Twin Peaks. It's like something Nance.
Is Charles Nance? Was that it? Oh, I forget. Yeah,
I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Jack Nance.
Jack Nance. There we go.
Jack Nance. So, yeah. David Lynch's Hope Floats. I don't know. I would watch David Lynch's Hope Floats.
I love hear Harry Connick Jr. talking backwards, like from Twin Peaks.
Even better, it's Jim Henson's Hope Floats, and Sandy B's the only live action actress.
Jim Henson.
She's working with a bunch of puppets, and I'd still watch it. As long as Mae West, Mae Whitman. I almost said Mae West. As long as Mae West is in the movie.
Mae West,
Talked about taxidermy. Taxidermied Mae West. Now it sounds like a David Lynch movie. Anyway, folks, we're going to wrap up here. Thanks again for joining us in our little fun social experiment where we just crack each other up. And you guys tune in weekly to listen to it. So we really don't know who you are, but somewhere out there you enjoy it. So leave a comment or something. Let us know that you're enjoying it, because we enjoy it. We're going to keep going. But it's always nice if other people find it funny and are like, hey, I think you guys are funny. So that's what we look forward to.
I too am an idiot, and I enjoy your idiocy.
I'm glad that the world has more idiots like me. Because I'm Canadian.
She's trying her best.
Just leave her alone.
Leave her alone. You can't act and talk with an accent at the same time.
Not if you're Canadian. So, all right. Folks, thanks for coming by and spending some time with us again this week. We will be back next week for Say Anything. For Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
And we'll see you then. Thanks.